Good morning. Before we get into this morning's update, I'd like to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring as we've got a load of things going on, especially tomorrow, as futures options will expire on Bitcoin. And we're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's about $10 billion in options that are set to expire tomorrow. So we're going to have extreme volatility going into tomorrow. We'll go over some of the key factors or key numbers that are in place right now as far as not just with the options set to expire, but we've also got the U.S. government, as we talked about a little bit last night. The U.S. government moved $240 million worth of Bitcoin, of seized Bitcoin onto Coinbase, and they've got a total of so that's 3,940 Bitcoin that was sent over to Bitcoin. That's $241 million worth. It's come out that the U.S. government is the world's largest holder of Bitcoin, as they possess around 214,000 Bitcoin worth over $13 billion, making the U.S. government the largest holder of Bitcoin in the world. So that's something we're going to explore in this update. We're going to talk about the Expire price analysis as it's up 1.26%. We'll take a look at Bitcoin as it's up 1.55%. We'll look at the XRP Bitcoin pairing as it's down 0.39% to the 769 sat level. XRP market cap's picked up about $339 million today, or 1.3%, up to 26.45 billion. But now we've got to be very, very observant here to see what's going to happen with these options expiring tomorrow. And right now, these runs up are nice, but all they are is a rejection point from where we started the day before. So we had a drop down. Now we've come up. This could be the rejection point for a further move down, unless we can get on top of these areas. We'll go over this very in depth. But let me do the intro real quick. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. I really, really do need your help in hitting that like button. Yesterday's update, we didn't do so well. Only 1 in 9.5 hit that like button, and it really hurt us through the analytics. We did not get recommended, and it did not get put out on YouTube as widely. So please, if you are watching this and you respect the time I put in and you appreciate the content, make sure to hit that like button so YouTube has the ability to recommend this video. It pops up on the news feed, so not just you, but new viewers alike will be able to find my content when they search YouTube, and we can continue to grow this community, as I believe we offer a lot of value here. Nothing's for pay, so everything I put out is free, so everybody has an equal opportunity to learn the information so that they don't get roped in this cryptocurrency market, and at least you have the honest information from a news and charting perspective to make an educated and informed decision. So please make sure to hit that like button. I'll give you about 30 seconds to do that as I play the intro, and I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good morning, 9:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, June 27th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I'd like to welcome in the new members and the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. As we can see, the crypto market is up roughly about 1.5% on most cryptos. We've got DGB up 3.8%. We've got Casper down 2.07%. Besides that, the rest on this page are up besides the XRP Bitcoin pairing. We got the total crypto market cap up about 1.89% or 41.65 billion. So let's start here. So the total crypto market cap at 2.242 trillion. We managed to bounce off the lower support a few days ago, and now we're coming up to the resistance point. So right now we had come down to 2.168, even farther. So in the last day and a half, we came down to about 2.12 trillion. Now we're pushing up to this downtrending resistance. We have like this falling channel support resistance. We need to get above 2.264 to start pushing up and then retest this 2.42 trillion. Otherwise, if we were to break down, we're more than likely would come back down here. But as we've talked about Bitcoin, and I'm going to show it again, until Bitcoin breaks down the pennant flag and the inverse head and shoulders that it's showing, like even the total crypto market cap is showing a form of an inverse head and shoulders. So if this pops up, this could be a very volatile spike. So that's the total crypto market cap. But now when we go into Bitcoin, and we'll work our way into XRP, when we go into Bitcoin, we are on the outside of this pennant flag. To me, we've said this since before it broke out of the consolidation, and while it was still within very deeply, that is a pennant flag consolidation. It broke out, hit the resistance twice, or 3 times, 1, 2, 3, actually a 4th because it started there. Even though it started the pennant flag, it still started that resistance area there as well. We broke out of the pennant flag. We retested it perfectly right there, and I have an inverse head and shoulders that's drawn out that is now more filled in because the price action came back down and retested that 60,150 area. That is the pennant flag breakout back test to see it instead of resistance as support. As long as this holds, we will have a volatile breakup, and I mean volatile. Because if you're buying support, selling resistance, resistance isn't until 69,000. Now, yes, it's making it very intriguing for tomorrow. And there was a lot of bearish optimism because of what's going on with Bitcoin, because of the futures options expiring. And let's get into that very quickly as we're going to do this in a nice, timely fashion. So, if you haven't heard, the U.S. government moves millions in Bitcoin to Coinbase. The U.S. government moved over 240 million worth of seized Bitcoin to Coinbase, stoking fears it may sell some of its massive Bitcoin reserves and cause downward pressure. So just in, U.S. government sends 3,940 Bitcoin worth 241 million to Coinbase. The transferred Bitcoin was originally confiscated from convicted drug trafficker Badmeet Singh earlier in 2024. Singh was arrested in London in 2019 on distribution charges and extradited to the U.S. in 2023. As part of his conviction, Singh forfeited over 8,100 Bitcoin worth around 150 million at the time to U.S. authorities. While the recent transfer of nearly 4,000 Bitcoin is substantial, it represents just a fraction of the government's total Bitcoin holdings. Data shows the U.S. government currently possesses around 214,000 Bitcoin worth over 13 billion, making it the largest national holder of Bitcoin globally. Much of the government's Bitcoin comes from seizures related to the shuttered dark web marketplace Silk Road. The infamous BITUNIX hack of 2016 also contributed to the stash. The transfer to Coinbase signals the government may be looking to sell some of the long dormant Bitcoin reserves. This adds to fears of price impact similar to the recent government sell-off of Germany. So that's one thing to mainly consider when it comes to Bitcoin. The second one is this with crypto, and then we'll get into XRP. So the crypto market braces for volatility as 10 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum options set to expire. So Bitcoin options worth 6.68 billion and Ethereum options worth 3.5 billion are slated to expire on Deribit, the leading crypto derivatives exchange, this Friday at 8 a.m. UTC. This impending expiry represents over 40% of the current cumulative open interest, which stands at more than 23 billion. Such large quarterly expiries often lead to heightened market volatility as increased trading volumes and the unwinding of rolling over of positions make prices more unpredictable. As we approach Friday, large quarterly expiry, potentially influenced by quadruple witching and related volatility in U.S. stock markets, over 25% of Deribit open interest is set to expire in the money, equating to over 2.7 billion. The total national size of expiry is over 10 billion, according to Lux Drew's chief executive officer at Deribit, whatever. Having more than 25% of open interest set to expire in the money, suggesting that a significant number of derivative contracts are expected to be profitable for their holders at expiration. Bitcoin, the leading cryptocurrency by market value, has dropped nearly 9% this month, testing levels below 60,000, which attracted bargain hunters. As usual, this sell-off has impacted the broader market, pulling Ether down by almost 10%. Despite the current bearish sentiment, data from Amber Data indicates that investors are willing to pay a higher premium for near-term and long-term calls, which offer asymmetric upside compared to puts. This suggests that traders are anticipating a positive shift in the market. Bitcoin is currently trading at 60,958, down 2.24%. But as we know, it bounced up just a little bit this morning. So I wanted to get that out of the way with Bitcoin since we did the chart. And now we can see what's going on with the derivatives market with options set to expire. And with the U.S. government now unloading 3,940 Bitcoin onto exchange yesterday. So we'll see what the impact of that is. I'm not surprised the price rise. Get the best possible price for the U.S. government, as they are the world's largest holder of Bitcoin, as now we know. They have 212,000 Bitcoin, folks. The U.S. government holds 212,000 Bitcoin through seizures and forfeitures, and that topples $13 billion roughly. Between that and the German government selling Bitcoin, to me, you better be very, very careful about this run up, and you better be very, very understanding of what's coming tomorrow. Because to me, we might be setting up for a beautiful short position if this gets a rejection, and we won't know yet. We obviously won't know. The first rejection could have come at 61,725 on the 20-day and the daily or 4-hourly. The second rejection, I mean, it could come all the way to 64,500, but we'll see. This is going to be a very, very, very volatile 24 to 48 hours here. Very volatile. These options are set to close tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow sometime during our trading day. XRP is up 1.24% to 47.5 cents. If we're looking at this logically for XRP, we have to start on the short-term pattern. When we did the live last night, we talked about if you're going short, wait for the back test here and see if we get rejected around that 477. Because when you have drop downs like this, it's very unlikely that you're going to break to the next sector without getting a proper back test. And for XRP, it's at 477. Let's say, for argument's sake, 477, or like we said yesterday, it's basically, yeah, 477, 478. That's exactly the resistance. Let's say for whatever reason we get rejected there, okay? If we get rejected there, obviously, here you go, resistance to support. This shows the 464. Well, now, let's take that a step farther. Let's just say we do get rejected. We'll call it 478. Even though on this one it's 477. If we get rejected, that would open up the door to that 42.25 cents. That's the cup and handle support. Now, obviously, if you're only looking at this chart, it looks like there's no support in between. But if you look at the patterns that have evolved, we know we have a little longer standing pattern where the support's down here at 46.4 cents. So a rejection at 478, 477 area. Then you've got low support at 464. And then if it breaks below that, you're talking about going down to the cup and handle support at right around the 42.4 cent mark. And that is right here. That's the cup and handle formation. XRP still remains very bullish as long as it's within that cup and handle consolidation. The moment it breaks down is the moment that all hell can break loose. And you'd come down to that all-time formation from all-time highs. And then XRP would find itself retesting this area if it loses the cup and handle right at about 40 cents. If you lose that, that opens up the door to a 35% drop down to about 25 cents. So that is where we can get very dicey. Fortunately, we've got a lot in between there. And if you look at my charts, as I was saying the other day, it's like Inception. Instead of a dream within a dream within a dream, this is a chart within a chart within a chart. And it just keeps expanding as we go forward, and it's very necessary because we've got a lot of things transpiring in the cryptocurrency markets, and we haven't had this much stuff going on to make it very exciting in quite some time. With these options set to expire tomorrow with Bitcoin, with the U.S. government simultaneously yesterday putting on 3,940 Bitcoin for sale onto the exchanges already, and knowing concretely now, the U.S. government owns 212,000 Bitcoin through forfeitures and seizures. I mean, that shouldn't make anybody feel too comfortable here. The U.S. government is hemorrhaged for money. Don't you think this was all a clever setup for the government to keep being able to sell things for money when they have nothing left? It's a very 212,000 Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. The world's largest holder of Bitcoin is the United States government. Let that sink in for a minute with their assault on crypto in the USA. So bite the hand or slap the citizens but make the wealth from 2016 by holding these same Bitcoin that they tell you the U.S. government would like you to believe that crypto shouldn't be held in the USA. But guess what? When I talk about manipulation at a grand level and at a level that nobody can even imagine, imagine that Bitcoin rallied from 15,000 all the way up to 73,000 and now sits just over 61,000, and now the government's ready to unload. They're looking to make 8 to 12 times what they got when they first acquired these. Maybe more, because some of these Bitcoins, it was like around what, $2,000 when they acquired these. So the government's putting on a 30x gain here. And who do you think gets that money? You think it goes back to the citizens who had to pay for this trial? No. You think it goes back to the citizens who split the taxes to convict the felons? No. You think it goes to the citizens who paid the salaries of the government? No. It's going into the politicians' pockets. Make no mistake about it, that money will never see the light of day for the U.S. citizens. That is just another way for the corrupt government to get rich, and I'll end it there, speaking of the government, because I don't want to get banned. But that's something to seriously consider this morning, is the fact that all that Bitcoin is held by the U.S. government, and now they're getting clearance to start dropping it off. They got approval to sell 3,940 Bitcoin from a U.S. judge, period. So we're going to have a lot of volatility. And the fact that the options expire tomorrow, this seems too perfect that the price ran up today. I'm going to be watching it very closely. Make sure that you tune in tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to go over our copy trading or futures trading, there's nothing open right now. But I'm going to designate the lives for when we talk about our copy trading. I will not do it in the updates anymore, period. I want to keep the updates informal. And if anybody wants to come in and talk about the rest, you can join me at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily on YouTube. I know a lot of people complain that they don't get the notifications. It's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day on YouTube. So it's up to you to be vigilant if you want to be there. If you want to be there, you'll find a way there. Yesterday we had 100 people there despite the market being slaughtered. So if you want to be there, you'll be there. I'll be there. A lot of our friends will be there. And we have a good time every single night, and we learn a lot of information. So what we're looking at here today, like we've talked about, Bitcoin and XRP are the main things. Bitcoin, we looked at every single possibility. XRP, we know if we get rejected at 478, it's a major rejection. And then we'll come back down to 464. And if we lose 464, we'll more than likely come down to that 42.4 cent area. With Bitcoin, it's pretty much the same deal. Bitcoin needs to break past this short-term consolidation. I've got it set up as a pennant flag consolidation, but we do have a pattern that's setting up here. And just so everybody doesn't have to leave here and wonder, if Bitcoin gets rejected right here, look out. Look out. If Bitcoin cannot break this downtrending resistance here after that massive consolidation, look out. Because if it doesn't break this now and it gets rejected, the likelihood is that massive sell-off of not just the the options expiring tomorrow, but that massive sell-off by the U.S. government right now of almost 4,000 Bitcoin, and it's going to happen. They're just looking at the best possible price. Now, if they uploaded it and the price is around 60,600, and now, right, it's at 61,600. So let's just say, right, $1,600 rise. Right? $1,600 rise times 3,940 Bitcoin. I'm not joking. On just that move up from yesterday, if they decide to sell now, the U.S. government made $6.3 million on that 1,600 point move by Bitcoin. When you start to realize what the numbers actually mean, you start to realize these minute movements. Like, something is not right here. The fact that the option set to expire tomorrow, and Bitcoin, or the U.S. government gets the approval from a U.S. judge to upload 3,940 Bitcoin yesterday, and the German government uploaded, 900 or 1,200 Bitcoin the day before on the 25th? Something ain't right here, folks. And it's either going to be a massive breakdown, or they're putting in that bearish proposition, as we always talk about, and the market's going to rally. But right now, Watch all the numbers I've given you. If you're looking to trade like I do, look in the video description below and our pinned comment. There's HOTCOIN if you want to join me on the copy trading, or if you want a lot of different options for crypto. They've got many different ecosystems, so it's got a very wide selection of cryptocurrency tokens. Or you can join me on BITUNIX if you so choose, as I trade there as well. It's just I can't copy trade until the middle of next month on BITUNIX because it isn't an option yet. And if you don't like either of those options, there's also BLOFIN in the video description below and our pinned comments. So make a choice, but don't spend exorbitant amount of fees on the exchanges. If you appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army or sending one YouTube super chat per month. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.